Salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my Halloween special and also the first of my radio broadcasts. Now, this might all seem very high-tech, but I'm actually squatting inside a closet, to the inside of which I've stapled rugs and blankets to dampen any unwanted reverberations. Plus, there's all sorts of buttons in front of me that I really have no idea what any of them do. Still, there's going to be music, there's going to be anecdotes, you guys are going to have a certifiable gay old time. That being said, you might have concerns that such a solipsistic format will, over time, become sort of dabchick ego fest time, you know what I mean? Well, let me reassure you, it won't turn into that, because that's exactly what it's going to be from the very beginning. So, strap in. Yeehaw. Okay, you all know what time of the year, it's Halloween, that's what it is. So I think a ghost story is in order. So this one actually happened to me a few years back. Myself and some acquaintances were visiting the seaside town of Newquay in Cornwall. A bit of a lad's holiday type thing. Cornwall, by the way, is the birthplace of that classic pirate accent, although these days it's more synonymous with surfing, stag do's and drunken nights out, which would have suited us fine had it not rained all day and all night the whole time we were there. So a few nights into our vacation, I'd somewhat accepted the situation. After all, there was a triple bill of Inside Nature's Giants on telly. Plus, I'd invented this really fun game where I'd hold a playing card in my beak, then spin round really fast and lob it into the polystyrene ceiling. I could get it to stick maybe 40% of the time, so I was having fun. But one of the guys clearly wasn't, and in a fit of frustration, he stormed out into the night rain. And I'd have been happy to let him go, but a few nights before we arrived, a young lady had taken a fatal tumble off one of the cliffs close to our lodgings. So I thought it best to accompany him, maybe to prevent such an incident reoccurring, or at the very least, record it on my phone. So during our miserable little walkabout, a police car pulls up right next to us and a female officer gets out. She seems friendly, but when we go to pass, her expression changes quite rapidly and she says very sternly not to move. You see, what we hadn't noticed was the Belgian Malinois in the back of our car that was trained to attack anyone that got too close to the officer. But I was actually relieved that it wasn't one of those sniffer dogs, because I didn't know if my friend was carrying any herbal essences. So, the officer mentioned she was keen to talk with us because she'd had a report of a young lady weeping and hanging around the cliffs. She also mentioned that if we happened to encounter said young lady, we should calmly engage her in conversation and call the officer's mobile number, informing her of where we are. Now, many folks might fancy taking a rain check on the whole situation. It was still raining after all, but in all honesty, this was the most interesting thing to happen this whole holiday, so we were more or less down to clown, as they say. So 20 minutes of trudging along the cliffs go by, and the wind and the rain is really going some. So I turned to my friend to suggest that we call it a night, but he's no longer next to me. He's a few feet back, staring right past me. I turn slowly and I can just make out this white figure standing right on the edge of the cliff. I take a few steps closer and I can see that it's wrapped in some kind of white shawl, blowing in the wind. The figure itself, however, is not moving, not the slightest bit. It's standing bolt upright, eerily straight, to the point that I can't even discern which way it's facing. Maybe it's staring out to sea, or maybe it's looking at me. I call out to make my presence known as I step closer still. But it doesn't turn. Only the wind calls back, stronger now than ever, screaming in my ears and stinging my eyes to the point that I can't even keep them open. As I blink through squinted, watery eyes, my vision blurs and distorts, and the once so static figure seems to dash back and forth across my vision. I wipe my eyes so frantically that those green-blue blotches seem to rush out of the darkness, and my heart pounds with the feeling that when I open them again, the figure will be standing right in front of me, hissing and spitting, eyes wide and wild as the weather beating down upon us. For a split second, curiosity surpasses my terror, and I seize the opportunity to prise open my unwilling eyes. Then I see it. For the first time with infinite clarity in all its detail. And there's suddenly no doubt in my mind that I'm staring directly at a flipping post with a scarf wrapped around it. So yeah, I felt like a bit of a tit, but it does go to show you that the vast majority of what we call horror is simply what we make it to be. Then again, the vast majority of any given thing doesn't quite account for everything now, does it? And with that in mind, sleep tight. It's close to midnight, something evil's lurking in the dark. Under the moonlight, You see a sight that almost stops your heart. You try to scream, but terror takes the sound before you make it. You start to freeze as horror looks you right between your eyes. You're paralyzed, 'cause this is Thriller night, and no one's gonna save you from the beast about to strike. You know it's Thriller night. You're fighting for your life inside a killer thriller tonight. You hear the door slam and realize there's nowhere left to run. Feel the cold hand and wonder if you'll ever see the sun. You close your eyes and hope that this is just imagination. But all the while you hear a creature creeping up behind. You're out of time, 'cause this is Thriller night, and no one's gonna save you from the beast about to strike. You know it's Thriller night. You're fighting for your life inside a killer thriller tonight.